What's up? And I hope you're having a great day today. So please stick with me through this one. It's going to be a little bit of a long one, but it's a good one. So the beginning of this week, I ran into a situation where I had to choose love or violence, right? I mean, I had to choose love or being angry at somebody and act in a certain kind of way. And as much as it took me to not react, I was able not to. So quick story. I went to church on Monday and dropped my daughter off for VBS, which is Vacation Bible School. She's 6, right? So she's just a little angel running around with her 4-year-old brother, his first year there, her second. And they love it. They love VBS. It's a great time for them. It's a good experience for them to get closer to Jesus and to worship God and to spend time with their friends doing the same thing, and all of them having like-minded activities, right? Positive activities. But she came home and she was telling me all about it, and she said, Daddy, my friend told me you got arrested. And I was like, I did. I've told you this. And she's like, and she told me you were in a car. And I was like, she's like, yeah, that's silly because you get in a car all the time. I'm like, yeah, I do get in a car all the time. I drive us everywhere, right? I knew what she was insinuating. And at first I was like, which friend, who's the parents and this and that. And if that was your daughter, I hope you hear this, and I hope you listen to this well. Please know that I don't know you, don't know which kid it was, but if you were trying to ruin my image of me and my daughter's eye, didn't work. I'm honest with all 4 of my kids. My 13-year-old, my 11-year-old know I've been to prison. They know the mistakes I made, and they know that I fight to be a better man every single day, that I make sure that I do the things I have to do to be a good, positive member of society and a productive member of society. And my 6-year-old, I'm her Superman because I'm a good dad to her, and I do everything in my power to prove to her every single day that she is the most beautiful, intelligent, brilliant, brave, amazing little girl. And that's for all of my kids, from my youngest daughter, my oldest daughter, my youngest son, and my oldest son. Though my 2 oldest are my stepkids, they're still my kids, and I still love them so much. I love them just as much as I love all my other kids. There's no difference. There really isn't. It's an unconditional love for all 4 of them. 5 of them, but 4 of them that are with me daily. And at the end of the day, I was upset because I felt like I was being attacked, and here we go again. Here's church. This is why people don't go to church. Because they feel judged, and they're just trying to get closer to God. It's not your job as a parishioner or a member of the church to judge me for what I did. It's not your job to even talk about it. That's actually called gossip. That's gossiping. Whether it's with your wife or to your kids, which is even worse, because you're poisoning the mind of a 6, 7-year-old little girl who's friends with my 6-year-old and then goes and talks trash on her daddy. How would you like it, for instance, if I dug up every little secret of how you acted or your wife acted in high school and went and told your kid? You wouldn't like it, would you? It would hurt. I'd never do that. I'd never do it. No, that's not the answer here. The answer is love. And so I'm going to love you through this, whoever you are, and I'm going to give you the grace and the patience and the understanding that maybe you had a bad day. And I hope you're not my close friend, because if you are my close friend, you should know my story. And if you're shocked to find out my story on Ian Bick, it's because you didn't take the time to get to know me yet. You haven't introduced yourself. You haven't talked to me enough. So whatever that barrier is between me and you becoming friends, that's on you. It's not on me. I'm not a horrible person. I'm a great person, actually. I do everything I can to serve my community, to give back to my community. And there's one thing I cherish, and that is my family at Traverse Christian Church. That church is something sacred to me. Because you don't know where I came in and what I was like when I walked in those doors. You'll never have a clue how far down the pits of hell I was. Was I back to drug use and committing crime? No, I wasn't. But I was basically sitting there with a Winchester in my mouth every given day. I was ready. I was empty. I was broken. I was hurt. I was lost. And all this time, I'm trying to guide my wife and my 4 kids through this world. Putting on the fakest of smiles. I mean, it was a real smile most time when they made me happy. That's when I did smile. But Otherwise, on the inside of me, I was a broken, beat down man. I was defeated. I was just getting up, looking up, and showing up. That's all that kept me going. That's it. And my wife and my kids. If it wasn't for my wife and my 4 kids, I wouldn't have existed past that time. But you don't know the tolls that war has taken on me. You don't know the tolls that my childhood took on me. And you don't know the tolls that terminal liver failure have put onto me. You just don't. You sit in your glass house and you judge me for my mistakes, acting like you have never made one. But I have something for you, okay? Let's go to the Bible. Let's go to Scripture. Let's go to Matthew 7, 1 through probably 6. We'll read it all. Do not judge, or you too will be judged. For in the same way you judge others, you will be judged, and with the measure you use, it will be measured to you. It will be measured to you. So the judgment you laid upon me, beware it's coming for you. Your own judgment, not mine. Not my hate, not my heart, I love you. I'm sorry you feel this way about me, and I'm sorry you haven't taken the chance to get to know me as a person. Because if you did, I bet you'd love me like my wife does. Maybe not the same way. But I bet you if you knew me, you would value me the same way other people do. Because I do have a good heart. I do have a good soul and a good purpose to be here and give back to people and love them and help them. And especially our youth. I love energizing our youth and bringing them in a positive direction, because I'd hate to see any one of our kids go down the road I went. So we'll continue. This is at 3. So 7:3. Why do you look at the speck of sawdust in your brother's eye and pay no attention to the plank in your own? How can you say to your brother, let me take that speck out of your eye, when all the time there is a plank in your own? You hypocrite. First, take the plank out of your own eye, and then you will see clearly to remove the speck from your brother's eye. Well said, Jesus. Well said. Well, actually, Matthew. Sorry. That was Matthew. But Jesus was talking, right? And it says, Jesus tells us to examine our own motives and conduct instead of judging others. The traits that bother us and others are often habits we dislike about ourselves. Crazy, right? What you don't like about me is most likely something I don't like about myself. What a crazy concept. Whatever it is you hate about yourself, you see it in me. Or whatever it is you hate about me, you know it's inside of you. The irony that sits behind that statement, right? The traits that bother you and others are untamed bad habits and behavior patterns are the very ones that we most want to change in others. Do you find it easy to magnify others' faults while excusing your own? If you are ready to criticize someone, check to see if you deserve the same criticism. Judge yourself first, and then lovingly forgive and help your neighbor. I mean, I could use some help, but not in the way of judging. I've let go of that. I have. Because that is what pushes people from, a lot of what pushes people from church is judgment. Absolutely thrashes people at the door, and they turn around, or whenever it happens, and they say, see, I knew they were the same way as every other church. But I didn't allow that. And I'm not going to allow you to do that to me here. I'm not. Because Caleb, Patrick, Frank, Andrea, I could keep on going. Dusty, Toby, you want me to keep going? There's Caleb's wife, Hannah, Patrick's wife. They're all amazing people. They know my story. I've never hid my story from anybody. Yes, I made some terrible mistakes in my past. And though what I went to prison for was not the crime I committed, I can be honest and say that I was involved in a lifestyle of crime that I deserved to go to prison for. And I did go to prison, and I served my time. And there is where my soul was saved. There is where I met rock bottom. That is when it took everything God had to break me. To break me. It wasn't my dad. It wasn't high school. It wasn't war. It wasn't crime. It wasn't losing my first son. It wasn't any of these things. You know what it really was? You want to know? It was when I lost my visitations and I had to tell my mother I was okay through a phone for a year. And at this time, I was going to a new prison, and I went to Sterling Correctional Facility in Sterling, Colorado. A real prison. See, when I was in Benton County, it was more like a college frat party with no girls. A college frat party with no girls. You heard me right. Tattooing, fighting, drinking, drugs, everything you can imagine. All there. And in abundance. The cops were in on it, so you had your free reign. Some of them weren't, so you had to be careful depending on who was on. But you quickly figured out how to maneuver through the system and how to manipulate it in a way to where you could do whatever you wanted. Though I wasn't manipulating my way that bad, something caught up to me and I got a write-up. I lost my visitation and I lost my way to see my parents. They used to drive 8 hours one way to see me every weekend. And I just spit in their face like it didn't matter. And then I had to try to convince my mom, who her health was ailing at the time, and life was harder on her. And I had to tell her, I'm okay. And she's like, yeah, I wish I could see you. I would know you're okay. I could hug you and touch your face and hold your hand and give you some gas station food out of a vending machine and know you're okay. And it really hit me then what a selfish, useless, worthless piece I was. Because at the end of it, I wasn't ready yet. But there I was. There I was broken to my minimalist person. A nobody. Accepting that I needed Jesus in my life to save my soul. To get me back on track. To get to heaven. To get through this thing we called life. So every day since then, I've put on my boots. I've woke up, I've looked up, I've strapped up on my boots, and I've got moving. In every one of those days, I've been thankful, I've been grateful, and I've been respectful. Every single day. I've failed some. I've made bad decisions like arguments or, not being polite to people or something, just having a day. But I've never returned to the life of crime. I've never returned to the life of drugs, and I've never returned to anything of that nature. I've actually tried to follow in the footsteps of Jesus as a disciple and place myself in the shoes as tasked by God. Not that he ever asked me, never did. Never personally, like, hey Cody, I want you to bring followers to me. No. But I sure tasked myself with that, to save everybody I could just like I was saved. Because there's something in my heart that just feels so much better. And in my soul, and my connection to the Holy Spirit is so much more pure, and it is so much there. It's almost like I can hear God talking to me. Signs are much more evident. When I pray for an answer, it comes. It's not some foggy wonder like, oh, I seen this random road sign. He must be saying yes or no. No, it was a conviction in my heart of yes or no. I now knew I was equipped to handle things the right way. So every day, I started working on myself. And that's where I went to a therapeutic community in prison. What they called a snitch pod, to be honest. But I didn't snitch on anybody. You didn't have to. But there I was able to get a counselor, and we had what they called games, and you sit in a circle and you work on your problems. And that counselor said, Cody, I don't want to hear any more about Iraq or your war stories. And then she was like, I don't want to hear more about your dad. There's something else in there. And there was an instance in my life that something happened that broke my ability to really love people because I just made it a physical life. And until I met my wife, that never changed. Well, I'd done the work, I got better, I got out, and I got my heart broke, and I got lied to, and I got played, and then I wasn't ready for what I was coming out to when I got out of prison. But then I met my wife. I met Catherine Ann Button at the time. She's now Catherine Ann Bowden. And she is the most loving, amazing woman that I have ever been able to introduce myself. And I will never forget the first moments I got to talk to her, the first moments I met her. She was actually in tears, for another story another day, but she was bawling her eyes out, turned around at a football game, and she was right here in front of me, and I was brand new, pretty much brand new out of prison, and I was looking at this pretty girl crying, and I'm like, can I help you? You know, I just want to give you a hug. Like, I feel like, you know, I don't know what to do. And so she allowed me to give her a hug, so I did. I gave her a big hug and started talking to her, and soon after that, I slapped her drink out of her hand, so I had to buy her a new drink. And then I got her number because I wanted to make sure she was going to make it home safe. And that was my pure intention, was to make sure she made it home safe. And from that day on, me and her FaceTimed and we talked, and my life has never been the same. It's been a gradual growth of greatness. She's been a blessing to me. She's brought not only the 2 kids from her previous marriage into my life. I've been part of their life since they were like 3 and 4. So they don't know life without me. And then she brought me our 2 kids. And we have 4. And those 4 are the most amazing things that's ever been in my life. So as you sit there judging me for the man I am, but you don't know me. I'm not that monster, that POS. I'm quite the opposite. I'm a very, very, very vulnerable, very honest, very open, very broken, sinful, prideful, arrogant, all kinds of things. All the things of the flesh I am. But I calm those down by trusting in the Lord and reading the Word and believing in Him and going to church on Sundays and worshiping. And seeing the family around me at church, that even if I'm sitting there by myself because my wife couldn't make it or because whatever reason, I'm there and I'm happy, I'm there and I'm not alone. I have the entire community with me, and they're right there with me all along. There's nothing I could ask for that's better than that. Than to feel whole, to feel made, and to feel seen. And you attack that. But I'm not going to let you have it. I'm fighting back. This is it. I don't know if you'll ever see this, but I might get the opportunity to talk to you. I might not. I know that my daughter was obviously more unwilling to show me who the little girl was, and I didn't want to do that to my daughter. I didn't want my daughter on a path of vengeance or seeking vengeance. That's the word it is. I wanted to show her how we let it go. Understand that maybe baby, they were having a really bad day. So we pray for them. We ask God to forgive them for the trespasses that they do against us, even though I didn't do anything to you. I know I didn't. And if I did, please come tell me. Explain to me how I hurt you or how I hurt your wife or your daughter. Because I'm sorry if I have. I couldn't name anybody I've done wrong at our church in any kind of way, even a bad day or nothing. If I seen you on the side of the road with a flat tire right now, I'd pull over and fix your tire and not even know who it's you. Not even care. If I needed to hold the door for you and your wife to come into the church with your kid or kids, I wouldn't even care. I'd hold the door. And I would do it again and again and again. Because that's how I believe churches should be. They should be a judgment-free zone, a harassment-free zone, and a place where you're allowed to be vulnerable. Because let me help you with something that I appreciate about a church. A church is not where all the saints are at. The church is a lot like a hospital. It's where all the broken, sinners, prideful, liars, cheaters, taxers, collectors, murderers, it's where they're all at. You know why? Because they're trying to get better. They're trying to be closer to God, to get the word, to get the worship, to get the love in their heart. So all of us that are broken should be at church. The saints don't need church. If you're a saint and perfect, why do you need to go to church? You got it all figured out. So if you're there, you should help everybody else figure it out if you're so good. If you're so perfect and so righteous. You should be there helping me see the path, helping me see what I need to do to be a better person, because clearly I'm not seeing what it is that I'm doing so wrong to you that causes you to judge me and pass it on to my child. It's very unfair. But that's what church is for. It's for the sinners. That is where God calls us to come together as one people and worship Him. And realize that all of us are broken. All of us are sinners. All of us are, we will all fall short of the glory of God. The one and only God. The one and only that gave His Son for us to wash us clean of our sins. And whether you like it or not, the same blood He spilled for you, He spilled for me. And I'm worthy of His blood. I am worthy of His forgiveness, and you can't take that away. I can. I can take it away from myself, but you can't. It's not yours to take. Salvation is a gift God gave to me as long as I did such. It's not good deeds. It's not praying. It's everything. That's the key. It's knowing I'm broken. It's accepting I'm broken. And that without Him, I am nothing. I am a powerless, little puny, scrawny, scared little boy without Jesus. But with Him, the one undefeated King, the one who defeated death. After 3 days, He rose from that grave. He rolled that stone away and He walked out. Walked out. Fear gone. The fear of death is gone. Because of Him and what He proved to us. And it's all right here. It's all right here. It's all right here for us. And I hope that me and you can talk. And you could admit to me it was you. I hope we could talk about it and figure out where it came from. You know, and on Father's Day, there was a sermon given about Moses. Let me go to it real quick. Or Abraham, where he was tested, right? And it really rung with me because he was talking about God testing Abraham with His only son. That He's like, hey Abraham, I want you to take your one son, the only son you got. You're not gonna have any more, just the one. And I want you to walk 60 miles. Go up to the top of this mountain. I want you to build an altar that you're going to burn and sacrifice your son on. And I want you to trust in me. I want you to trust me that I'm going to give you more than that. What do you mean? All I could want is a son. That's all I ever wanted, God. Like, I don't want any more, but you want me to give that up? You sure? All right. Lock that in, God. Lock that in. That's what I did. I locked it in. That's my ace deuce. Jesus is my ace deuce too, whether you like it or not. It ain't yours to take away. Jesus is my homeboy, if you ain't figured that out yet. Am I the best follower of Christ? Absolutely not. Am I one of the worst sinners? Absolutely. I have a foul mouth like a sailor. Worse than a sailor. I'd make a sailor blush. But you know what? I have my chance at redemption through forgiveness and grace, because His grace and His forgiveness is endless, because He knows I'm trying, and He knows that deep down in here my only goal in life is to make heaven crowded. That's my only goal. I want heaven to be standing room only, because the way I see the world today, it's going to be pretty dang empty. I'm not going to have anybody to hang out with up there if this is what everybody believes in. that they can do this and they can do that and they can do this, and then they just ask for forgiveness and they go to heaven. Oh, they're good. No. Brother or sister that said this about me, you got to stop being judgmental. Not only could you push people that need the church more than possibly you do, because obviously they're there and they're broken for a reason. And they need someone in that building to help them get closer to God. Whether it's me, whether it's somebody else, whether it's you, they need them. And they need to be there in that building, worshiping Jesus Christ and asking for God's forgiveness, asking for His guidance, His wisdom, His counsel, and His knowledge. They need to be right there in the thick of it. And we need to stop judging them for being the broken individuals that they are. We realize that we are the same disgusting, despicable person that they are. And that what we don't like about them is what we don't like about ourselves. Swallow the pill and get over it. March on. It's done. You can't stop me nor anybody else from coming to that church. It's not yours. It's no one's. It's God's. It is His house of worship. It is His place that they use to bring people closer to Jesus. And the ones that they need to bring are the broken and the sinners. It's everybody that needs to come to church. The broken, the battered, the beat, the wounded, the sinners, the unsafe. We all need a place to go. And that's where we can go to get closer to God, and we should feel safe. We shouldn't feel judged, persecuted, and hated upon. We shouldn't feel like people are gossiping behind our back or doing anything like that. We should feel safe. And I refuse to let you take that from me. So I just hope you know that you can come talk to me if you ever do watch this, which I doubt you will, but I hope you do. I pray that you'll come talk to me and that one day you can be my friend without judging me for what you hate about yourself. Or what you hate about me. I don't know what it is. I'm not. You'll never admit it to me anyways. But just know that we all have a part in getting people saved. We all need to save as many friends, as many loved ones as we can. Let's make heaven crowded. Let's make it standing room only. I don't want to be there alone. I don't. I want my family. I want my wife. I want my kids. I want everybody. So let's do that together by stopping judging each other. Stop judging me, judging others, and hating on them and gossiping about them. Because it's bad. I have a feeling that your kid wasn't the only person you talked to me about. Just a weird suspicion. But hey, is what it is. At the end of the day, I'm sorry you feel the way you feel about me, but I didn't care before I posted that video. And the only reason why you knew is because I went on a nationwide platform called Locked In by Ian Bick, and I told my story. I told my story for all those out there to know. Because I've paid my penance, however you call it. I paid my debt to society. I don't owe anything to you. It's not yours to take, not yours to give, not yours to care. But I'm occupying free rent space in your head. So please clear me out. Evict me out of your mind and let me be. And I just ask that everybody out there please consider how they're talking and treating people in church. Because this is what keeps other people's out of our church. This is what keeps those that are scared to walk in church to be saved from getting saved, is gossiping, judgmental behavior, and all that. And the truth is this. The person judging you the most when you walk into church is you. It's yourself you hear. It's normally not everybody else that they don't come up and tell you, Cody, you're this, and this. No, they don't. It's what you think about yourself. It's what you feel about yourself. And then sometimes it's instances like this where people are talking about you behind your back. And regardless of what you feel, my wife and my kids love me and I love myself. You can't change that. I am my daughter's knight in shining armor, and I'll continue to be that man until the day I die. Because this happened, just so you know, before she was even born by almost a decade. Has nothing to do with her, and I have not done anything that would ever jeopardize me being her father. Ever. So God bless you, and God bless America. Thank you for watching this. I appreciate you all. Again, if you haven't already, follow, like, comment, share, subscribe. I need to get to 1,000 followers on Instagram, and I need to get to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, and then like 10,000 on your TikTok, please. Let's make it happen. Please. Thank you, everybody. Have a good night.